a junior going into your senior year. And the perks of being Miss Delaware State University, you get a full scholarship your senior year. Okay.
Oh, nice. Amen.
Okay, I heard that.
I'm still in debt. And I dropped out. There got to be a junior to be a senior.
Right, so you have to be a senior. Junior's supposed to be to run for the position. You have to go through an interview, a pageant, and I've never in my life competed in a pageant until that day. And then you have to campaign, right? So you have to go out, you have this whole campaign thing, vote for me. And I didn't like all of that stuff, but I had to do it. Being in a pageant, that helped me channel this inner confidence that I never knew I had, because I was so like, standing in front of nobody to say all this stuff. I didn't think I could memorize anything, but I was able to do that. And that role, when I finally won, it allowed me to be the face of my school. Like, I was able to go to the communities and speak to the youth, like mentor at high school. And then I realized, like, even after I left, when I went on a job interview, my assistant principal told me she pulled my resume because she saw that I went to Delaware State University and I was Miss TSU. So she offered me the job then. And I was like, oh, this actually did work. I didn't think. But being able to speak to the young ladies and empowering, I was always about like system and empowerment and unity, because I felt like a lot of us could be at the same campus, we won't even talk to each other. Like, you live right next door to me, why don't we speak to each other? And I wanted to change that. And so I did. I was the person, I was walking out saying hi. I'm like, I don't know, somebody could be having a bad day. But it was my mission to make sure I said hello. And when I campaigned, students told me that I don't even remember who they were. They said, you said hello to me, so I'm going to go for you because of that. And I was like, wow. And then I always wanted people to see God through me. And I'm like, this is not me. This is definitely God. Like, I felt His presence even there. And then when I had to go and compete, like to be the Miss HBCU, I didn't win. I just placed top 10. But even
Just placed top 10. By the way, okay. That's a big thing.
But on my going there, I was like, I felt myself not being confident with myself. I'm like, wow, I'm about to compete against all these other queens. Like, what? But the students, my students, believe that. It's like, oh no, when you go there, you're going to rock this. And I had to do a whole session for them where they see exactly what I do. And I was like messing up. I was like, oh my God, I hate myself. Why am I doing this? But the students was like, start over, do it right now. You're gonna do that introduction again. And I was like, wow, okay. And to realize that I had that much support and love from the students that I didn't know I had. Even after I won, I was like, wow, guys, you're really amazing. And going in, meeting the other, I call them sister queens, meeting them, and we actually still talk to this day. We have a group chat, and if we're able to motivate each other all the time. And just recently, this girl wanted to go to this high school student. She wanted to go to Dillard, and I'm like, oh wait, I know Miss Dillard. So I texted her, and I'm like, hey, can you give this student some advice? Gave her advice right then and there, and she's like, oh, we'll make sure we look out for her when she comes. I was like, oh, well. So it was great, and it had this after effect after being there, and then even as a teacher now, and I took my students to go visit my school. That was a blessing for me, because I said, wow, I didn't think I could do this. And showing them the culture and exposing them, they were like, by the time the trip was over, they said, you know what, I want to go to the HBCU. I want to be a part of this thing, and I actually want to come to this school. I said, oh, really? So, and I, being transparent and telling them, it wasn't easy. I was that girl, even though being a queen, I'll be in the room doing some other being an unqueen with my friends. But that was my outlet, because I was like, this, because outside you have to be like, I'm not like that. I'm like,
Can I just pull something out of your story that was so profound?
Absolutely.
What's really interesting is she was so confident, and she felt so beautiful and so intelligent and so smart, but as soon as she began comparing herself to the people she was competing against, it destroyed her confidence, and she started freaking out. I want you to remember that when you go to college, once again, you're going to be around intelligent, beautiful young women, but that has absolutely nothing to do with you. You can still be powerful, you can still accomplish great things, you can still be the best version of yourself, and success, popularity, if you know, friends, that will all come your way. The second that you start comparing yourself to other people, you're going to begin focusing on the wrong things. You'll end up failing classes, focusing on boys, focusing on everything else that does not matter, but you becoming this amazing, young, intelligent young woman who finally got to college. I don't know about you, but a lot of people from Brooklyn can't do this. You've already gotten a step ahead. You've already taken a step into you guys' future. And you guys are going to accomplish great things. And you cannot compare yourself to other people. Because there's going to be a lot of people there who can afford the school, who are going to be doing better, maybe catching on a little bit faster, maybe have more stuff in their dorm room than you, but do not let that get to you. Because you are just as intelligent, even more anointed, and the favor is over your life. Where I come from, people don't go to college. Who got family that, not me? I was the first one to go to college in my family, and I had dropped out. My grandmother was a crackhead. My dad was the one dealing her the drugs. My mom had 2 kids at the age of 15. It doesn't happen. And I don't know about you guys or where you guys come from, but stuff like this does not happen, but it's happening for you, and you guys already have a step ahead, and I just do not compare yourself to other people, and let God do his thing in y'all. Y'all gonna do some great things. Just even being here today, this shows y'all want to be better. And y'all will be. Y'all can. Y'all just have to stay focused. She was great. She knew she was great. But the second she lost focus on being her best and focusing on competing against other people's best, she lost that confidence. And I just thought that was beautiful.
Yeah. That happened to me one time as well. I started to compare myself with other individuals. But my story is different. I got my high school diploma when I was incarcerated, juvenile hall. I made a decision when I was in there, I'm going to college. I told my girlfriend on the phone at the time, she laughed, and I broke up with her. Why? Because we're not on the same page right now. You wasn't seeing what I was seeing. But when I actually got in school, I started looking around and why can't I have that high refund check like everybody gets? I started becoming friends with Aaron Reed, L.A. Reed's son, and LaMichael LeVert, Gerald LeVert's son, and I started to see how they was maneuvering, but I forgot that my story is different. You know, you gotta claim your story, stay in your lane, and yes, that's what it's about.
Chastity said something about starting over when you went to go present, and they can say, okay, well, you can just start over. That's the same thing with college too. When you first get there, just know that it's a new start for you. It's not, you are not the same person necessarily. That you don't have to be the same person that you were when you were in high school. When you get to college, it's a brand new start. You are the one that's going to create the foundation for what it is that you want to be. So just keep that in mind and know that. And with that being said, Nephi, I was talking to Nephi a little earlier, and it would be helpful if you can kind of just share or explain the process between when you first get to school and you declare, you know what your major is?
Math and creative writing.
Math and creative writing and journalism. When you get to school, I know for me, I didn't come out or get into my first journalism class saying, okay, well, when I get out, I'm gonna be a journalist. I'm gonna own my own journal thing. I didn't know any of that structure. So as a branding strategist, how can I go into college already preparing myself with my major and my skill set to come out owning my own business, so I don't have to, look for a job?
Right. So I think that, whether you're in college or out, right where you are in this moment, I always encourage everyone to create their own opportunities. Like, you have everything you need. Start where you are with what you have. I always talk about my sister. She couldn't be here today, but she's 14 years old and she has her own baking business. That's why she's not here today, because she's baking. She's doing an order for a bridal shower, but she's 14 years old. And of course, our family, our friends, is like, oh, she learned how to cook from YouTube. I come from a traditional West Indian background. My family's from Jamaica, and my dad is the cook in the house. My mom, she could cook, but she be putting orange juice, soy sauce, she just whatever she finds. And my dad, he doesn't like, he likes his traditional Jamaican food. So when my great grandmother, she got diagnosed with breast cancer, she was unable to cook for her husband in her home. So my sister took on that role. Like, okay, I love cooking, it calms her, not me. I
I like to eat. I don't like to cook. And so she's like, you know, this is my opportunity to make like American dishes. The only time we have macaroni and cheese at my house is on Thanksgiving. My dad is not about that life. It's curry goat, jerk chicken, oxtail, all that stuff. And so she used that as an opportunity to explore and teach herself how to make things that she liked watching on television. And so from 12 years old, she started her own business, you know, learning how to make cakes and all that good stuff from scratch, just because she had the desire and she went out there and said, like, let me figure out how to do this. So I want you to know that you have everything that you, like, people they are quick to tell you that you're not smart enough, that you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough. You don't need anybody else's approval. You plus God equals the majority. You already winning. Hello. So when it comes to college, with me, I was just like so excited. I knew what I wanted to do. Like going to college, I'm like, I'm gonna get like an internship. Like that was my thing. And they were like, hold up, hold up. Nobody wants a freshman. And so I listened to them. These are the people that were in my school guidance counselor office. You know, the career center. Nobody wants a freshman. But I'm like, you know, I'm good, like I'm ready, I'm eager, and I listened to them. I didn't apply to any internships because they said that nobody wants a freshman. Meanwhile, when I come out, people been doing internships since they were in high school, and so I got impatient because I'm just like, what y'all not gonna do? Just trying to stop my come up. So I became like, you gotta nag for the things that you want, because you go into college, whether you're paying for it or not, you are there to get services, and people are not gonna be like, oh, here's $100, and here's, you know, they're not gonna walk up to you and give you what you deserve. So you gotta know what you deserve and you gotta ask for it. So I was like that daughter.
I can see nephew like, excuse me,
exactly.
Where's my internship?
Exactly, that was me. My first internship was at Z100 radio stations. I worked with the Elvis Duran morning show, and that was awesome. And then my second internship was with BET, and that was awesome. I worked with the vice president of music programming and development, and they gave me a job opportunity, and I declined. That's a whole nother story. Then when I graduated college, and I'm just like, so about that job opportunity, they was just like, oh, well, you know, we think that you've learned everything, all that you can learn here. And so what I encourage you to do is to create your own opportunities, but also to like leverage your network, leverage your people on campus. You gotta know how to barter. When I graduated college, let me tell you, you know somebody at your school, they're a photography major, they're doing websites, everybody's trying to build their craft and build their portfolio. So like you know, you make friends with them, and you do something for them, they do something for you. They take your photos, you do XYZ. So I graduated college with, you know, professional photos, a website, my own. So I always knew that I wanted to work in television, but just, you know, broadcast journalism just in general. So whether that be like TV or radio. And so I had my own little TV show, talk show, had a radio show at school. But what I did, like college, it's kind of like one of the best places where you can go, because like you have all the resources at your fingertips. I was using the school's camera, that tripod, everything. Like, yes, I be checking out stuff, and like, listen, you gotta know how to swindle the system. I ain't saying do anything illegal. You gotta learn. If you check it out a little longer. Exactly. If you don't have if you don't work in communications and you know that you need a video camera to do something, you make friends with somebody, they check it out for you. Let me tell you, I was doing home videos, commercials, everything. And so at the end of the day, when I graduated college, and although I had these experiences, I studied abroad in China, everything was popping, I got that offer from BET. When I graduated, I was like putting out my resume, and they were like, Cricket's coming back. I was like, hold on. Let's try this again. Like, put out the resume, Cricket's coming back. Because, you know, it's always hard to get a job straight out of college, especially in your field, especially when it's entertainment. So what did I do? I didn't wait for somebody to give me an opportunity. I created my own. And so I pitched myself to my school, to one of the departments at my school, like, hey, this is when social media was like on the rise. And I'm like, you know, I want to be the face of like your online presence, basically. I want to interview all the people that you have coming to the campus and talk to the students. And I also want to talk to the students, because, you know, tell me you wouldn't watch a video that you was in. Yes, you would. The devil's a liar. So they're like, you know, well, you know, this position doesn't really exist. But they created it for me. And so I was their social media correspondent. I was doing interviews at that time, right? I graduated in the summer, May, so school was out. So there was no students or like not much activity on campus. But they had this amazing program called the Community Fellows Program.